I built a $300 million investment firm after everyone said I'd fail. Now my sister, ex-boyfriend, and parents are furious I'm buying out every business they apply to just to reject them. Hello beautiful people. If you're enjoying our stories, please subscribe and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Now let's continue with today's story. The smell of my mama's peach cobbler should have made me feel at home. Instead, it made my stomach turn as I sat at that Sunday dinner table watching my family celebrate my failure. So you really thought you could be some big-shot investor? My sister Keisha laughed, waving her fork at me. Girl, you ain't even finished your MBA. I gripped my glass of sweet tea harder. 3 months ago, I'd left my secure corporate job to start my own investment firm. 3 months of sleeping 4 hours a night, pitching to investors who looked at me like I was selling dreams. 3 months of believing in myself. Baby, it's not too late to come back to reality, Mama said, her voice dripping with that particular disappointment only black mothers can perfect. Your cousin got you an interview at the post office. The post office. I had a degree in finance from Howard University. I'd worked at a top consulting firm for 5 years. But to them I was just being uppity. Marcus agrees with us, don't you, baby? Keisha turned to my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend as of that moment, sitting beside her. Too close beside her. Look, babe, Marcus said, and I noticed he wouldn't meet my eyes. Your parents just want what's best. This investment thing, maybe it's too much for you to handle alone. The words hit different when I saw Keisha's hand slide onto his thigh under the table. Too much for me? I stood up slowly. Or too much for y'all to believe I could do it? Daddy finally spoke, his voice cold. Sit down. You're embarrassing yourself. That's when I knew I was alone in this room full of family. I didn't sit down. Instead, I walked to the kitchen for air, but Keisha followed me like a predator who'd smelled blood. You always thought you were better than us, she hissed, her face twisted with something uglier than sibling rivalry. Walking around with your fancy degree, your corporate job. You think Mama and Daddy proud of you? They embarrassed. My hands shook as I set down my glass. What are you talking about? They tell everybody at church you working reception somewhere. Can't even admit their daughter out here trying to be some entrepreneur. He said the word like it tasted rotten. And Marcus? He mine now. Been mine for 6 months. The room spun. 6 months. While I was working 18-hour days, believing Marcus understood my dreams, he'd been with my sister. In my mind, I saw every late night he said he understood I had to work. Every time he encouraged me to stay at the office while he went out. You knew I was building something, I whispered. I told you everything. My strategies, my investor meetings, And I told him everything too. Keisha smiled like she'd won a prize. Every night while you were out there chasing your little fantasy. Marcus appeared in the doorway. Keisha, not like this. Not like what? I turned to him. Not like you're a lying, cheating. See, this why your business failing. Mama's voice cut through from the dining room. Too emotional. Too proud. Just like your grandmother. She died bitter and alone, thinking she was too good for this family too. The comparison stung worse than the betrayal. Grandma Rose was the only one who'd believed in me. I stormed back into that dining room with tears burning my eyes but refusing to fall. I wouldn't give them that satisfaction. You want to know why Grandma Rose died alone? My voice came out steady cold. Because y'all drove her away just like you're trying to do to me. Because she dared to want more than this. Daddy slammed his hand on the table. Watch your mouth in my house. Your house that Grandma Rose's life insurance paid off? The words flew out before I could stop them. The house you told everyone you earned? I found the paperwork when I was helping her with her estate. She gave y'all everything and you repaid her by calling her crazy. Mama's face went pale. That's different. She understood family takes care of family. No, she understood y'all were users. I grabbed my purse. She told me before she died, warned me you'd do the same to me if I ever outgrew this toxicity. Toxicity? Keisha laughed. Listen to her with her therapy words. This is family, not some business deal. Family doesn't sleep with their sister's boyfriend. Family doesn't celebrate when you're struggling. Marcus finally found his voice. Baby, it wasn't supposed to happen. Keisha was there when you weren't. Don't you dare. I pointed at him. Don't you dare make this my fault for working hard. See what I mean? Mama shook her head at Daddy. This business done made her paranoid and mean. Baby, you need to let this go. Come home. We'll find you something stable. Something stable. Something small. Something that kept me right where they could see me, never rising above them. I'd rather fail alone than succeed with y'all holding me down. The silence that followed was deafening. I slept in my car that night. A 2015 Honda Civic with 180,000 miles and a check engine light that had been on for 6 months. My entire net worth was $847 in checking, $12,000 in credit card debt, and a dream that felt like it was suffocating me. The smell of the fast food bag from dinner mixed with my cherry air freshener. My phone buzzed constantly, Mama calling to tell me to stop being dramatic, Keisha texting that she was sorry I had to find out this way, Marcus sending paragraphs about how we could work through this. I blocked them all. Then I opened my laptop and looked at my business plan. 63 pages of research, financial projections, market analysis. 3 years of saving every penny while my coworkers bought new cars and took vacations. 52 pitch meetings where investors, mostly older white men, told me I was ambitious in that tone that really meant delusional. You're too young, they'd said. Too inexperienced. Too aggressive. Maybe start smaller. Perhaps a nice little consulting side hustle. Translation: stay in your lane, little black girl. My laptop screen reflected my face. Eyes swollen from crying, hair still in the slicked back bun I'd worn to Sunday dinner 12 hours ago. I looked defeated. Then I saw it. Buried in my spam folder, an email from 3 days ago. Subject line: Investment Opportunity Second Review. My hands trembled as I clicked it open. Ms. Johnson, after reviewing your revised proposal, we'd like to schedule a call to discuss potential funding. Your market analysis on emerging communities is compelling. Are you available Tuesday at 10 a.m.? It was from Sterling Capital Group, one of the biggest venture capital firms in the country. The meeting I thought I'd bombed 2 months ago. I had 72 hours to prepare for the call that could change everything. Tuesday morning, I sat in a coffee shop bathroom, laptop balanced on the sink, wireless earbuds in. I'd used my last $40 to buy a blazer from the thrift store and pay for 6 hours of coffee shop Wi-Fi. Ms. Johnson, your preliminary numbers are impressive. The voice belonged to Robert Chin, Sterling's managing partner. But walk me through your actual implementation strategy. How do you plan to identify undervalued businesses in overlooked communities? I'd practiced this answer 100 times, but suddenly my family's voices crowded my head. Too much for you to handle alone. You're embarrassing yourself. Just a little fantasy. Miss Johnson? Are you there? I looked at myself in that coffee shop mirror. Grandma Rose's eyes stared back at me, determined, fierce, unwilling to shrink. Mr. Chin, everything I've built is based on a simple truth. The biggest investment opportunities exist where privilege doesn't look. I grew up watching brilliant people in my community get overlooked because they didn't have connections, didn't go to the right schools, didn't know the right people. My voice grew stronger. I know these communities because I am these communities. I can identify potential that traditional investors miss because they're not even in the room. Silence on the line. My heart hammered. That's exactly what we've been missing, Chin said quietly. Traditional VC firms keep funding the same types of founders, same types of businesses. Your insider perspective, that's your competitive advantage. Tell me more about your first 3 target investments. For the next hour I pitched like my life depended on it. Because it did. When the call ended, Chin said 5 words that changed everything. We're in for $2 million. $2 million sounds like freedom until you realize it comes with expectations that could crush you. Sterling Capital wanted results within 18 months or they'd pull out. 60 investors were watching me, most betting on my failure. I heard it at the signing meeting. Diversity play, one partner muttered. Tax write-off when it goes under. I smiled and signed the papers anyway. Month 1 I worked from a shared office space the size of a closet. No team. No assistant. Just me, my laptop, and a cell phone that never stopped ringing. I cold called business owners, attended every networking event, slept 4 hours a night. The loneliness hit hardest at 2 a.m. when I'd see Keisha's Instagram posts. Her and Marcus on dates, Mama commenting beautiful couple, with heart emojis. They'd moved on like I never existed. Good. I had work to do. By month 3, I'd identified my first investment. A small logistics company run by a 50-year-old black woman named Patricia who'd been rejected by 17 banks. Her business model was flawless, but she didn't have collateral. Just 30 years of experience and contracts with major retailers. Why should I trust you? Patricia asked at our first meeting, eyes skeptical. You're barely older than my daughter. Because I'm the only one who looked past your zip code and saw your potential, I said. And because I'm not asking for your firstborn as collateral, just results. I invested $200,000. 6 months later, her company's valuation tripled. Investment 2. A tech startup run by 2 brothers who'd built an app connecting freelancers with short-term gigs. Every VC they'd pitched to said the market was too saturated. I saw something else. They were targeting the exact demographic I understood. I invested $350,000. The app hit 1 million users in 9 months. Year 2, everything accelerated. My portfolio was generating returns that made Sterling Capital's traditional investments look sluggish. 5 successful exits, 12 active investments, and suddenly I wasn't the diversity play anymore. I was the moneymaker. How did you identify that opportunity? Investors kept asking, studying my deals like they contained secret codes. The answer was simple, but they'd never understand. I invested in people who looked like me, thought like me, struggled like me. People traditional finance had written off. Forbes called me the new face of venture capital. Black Enterprise did a cover story. My calendar filled with speaking requests, podcast interviews, investment proposals from companies that wouldn't have returned my emails 2 years ago. The money followed. My firm, Apex Capital Group, grew to 35 employees. We moved into a downtown office with floor-to-ceiling windows and that new building smell. I bought a house, not a starter home, a real house with a gourmet kitchen I never had time to use and a garage for the Tesla I'd treated myself to. Success felt like swallowing glass. Every achievement reminded me of the family dinner where they'd celebrated my failure. Every interview where I smiled and talked about my journey. I left out the part about sleeping in my car because my sister was sleeping with my boyfriend. Then my assistant Angela knocked on my office door, her expression strange. You have a call on line 3. She says she's your mother. I hadn't spoken to Mama in 2 years. Hadn't returned a single call, text, or email. I'd blocked them all after that Sunday dinner, cut them out like a cancer. Tell her I'm busy. She says it's about your sister. Something about a business opportunity she needs your help with. I laughed, actually laughed out loud. Now she needs my help? Should I hang up? I should have said yes. But curiosity is a vicious thing. Mama's voice hadn't changed, still that mix of sweetness and manipulation that had controlled me for 28 years. Baby, I know it's been a while, but family is family. We've been watching your success and we're so proud. What do you want? I cut through the performance. Silence. Then her tone shifted, dropped the pretense. Keisha and Marcus got married. They're starting a business together. Event planning. They need investors and with your connections. You called me after 2 years to ask for money for the sister who stabbed me in the back and the man who cheated on me? My voice was ice. The same sister you chose over me? The same man you welcomed into our family while telling me I was too ambitious. That's not fair. You left us. You cut us off like we didn't matter. I cut off toxicity. There's a difference. This is what success did to you. Mama's voice rose. Made you forget where you came from? Forget who raised you. Your sister made a mistake, but she's still your blood. Marcus loves her. They built something real while you were out there chasing money. The words were designed to wound, to make me feel guilty for boundaries. 2 years ago they might have worked. Tell Keisha and Marcus I said congratulations on the wedding I wasn't invited to. And good luck with their business. They'll need it. So that's it? You're going to let families struggle out of spite. No, Mama. I'm going to let family learn what I learned. That success requires sacrifice, and sometimes that sacrifice is cutting off people who only want you around when they need something. I hung up before she could respond. But here's what I didn't tell her. I'd already seen their business plan. 3 days after Mama's call, my acquisition team brought me an interesting proposal. A shell company was selling an event planning business. Prime location, existing client list, turnkey operation. The price was surprisingly reasonable. $400,000. Why are they selling? I asked Sarah, my head of acquisitions. Owners are retiring, want a quick sale. The business is profitable but small. Maybe $200,000 annual revenue. Not really our usual target. Buy it, I said. Today. Sarah's eyebrows rose. It's not really our investment thesis. Buy. Today. She did. 2 weeks later, Angela buzzed my office again. Keisha Johnson and Marcus Peters are here. They say they have an appointment. I smiled. Send them in. I hadn't seen them in 2 years. Keisha looked the same. Designer bag probably bought on credit, hair freshly done, that same smug expression. Marcus had gained weight, lost some hair, wore a suit that didn't quite fit right. Look at you, Keisha said, taking in my corner office. Living your best life while family struggles. What can I do for you? I kept my voice professional. Marcus pulled out a folder. We found the perfect space for our event planning business. Prime location, existing client base, everything we need. We just need $400,000 to close the deal. Mama said you might help family out. I pretended to study their proposal, though I'd memorized every word. Their financial projections were overly optimistic. Their market analysis superficial. They'd clearly spent more time on the graphics than the actual business strategy. This location, you already signed a letter of intent? I asked. Yes, Marcus said eagerly. The owners are motivated. We just need capital to close. Interesting. I closed the folder. Because I bought that property last week. Paid cash. The color drained from Keisha's face. You what? Apex Capital Group now owns the building you wanted. What a coincidence. Marcus jumped to his feet. You did this on purpose. You knew we wanted that property. Did I? I leaned back in my chair. Or did you just assume that a multi-million-dollar investment firm would hand money to 2 people with no business experience, no track record, and a business plan that looks like it was written by a high school sophomore? We're family. Keisha's voice cracked. You're supposed to help family. Family. I let the word hang in the air. Like you helped me when you slept with my boyfriend? Like Mama and Daddy helped me when they told me I was embarrassing myself? Like Marcus helped me when he was feeding my business strategies to you while I trusted him? Keisha's mouth opened and closed. You've been successful. You can afford to help us. We're struggling. Good. The word came out sharp. You should struggle. You should know what it feels like to work yourself sick while people you love root for your failure. You should experience exactly what you put me through. This is sick, Marcus said. This is revenge. No, this is business. I stood up. Revenge would be petty. Revenge would be public. This is just me refusing to fund people who prove they can't be trusted. You want to know why I bought that property? Not because of you. I didn't even know you were interested until you walked in here. I bought it because my analysts identified it as a good investment. The lie came out smooth as silk. Let them wonder. You're going to regret this, Keisha threatened. We're going to tell everyone what you did. How you turned your back on family. Please do. I smiled. Tell everyone how you tried to use our dead grandmother's successful granddaughter as a personal ATM. Tell them how you destroyed my relationship, then came begging for money. I'm sure that'll make you look great. They left without another word. But I wasn't done. Over the next 6 months, a pattern emerged that even I found darkly satisfying. Every business opportunity Keisha and Marcus pursued, every loan application, every investor meeting, somehow Apex Capital Group was already there. A restaurant space they wanted. We bought the building. A small catering company they tried to acquire. We offered double their bid. An angel investor they pitched to. Turns out he was on our advisory board. I didn't have to say a word. My team did their jobs, identified opportunities, and I simply approved investments that happened to intersect with my sister's desperate attempts at entrepreneurship. Someone's blocking us, I heard Marcus tell Keisha when they didn't know I was behind them at a networking event. Every door we approach, it slams shut. It's her, Keisha hissed. She's doing this deliberately. Was I simply building an investment empire while they kept trying to ride my coattails? Then Daddy showed up at my office. No appointment, no warning. Just walked past security like he owned the place. You need to stop this, he said without preamble. Whatever you're doing to your sister, it stops now. I'm not doing anything except running my business. I didn't stand up, didn't offer him a seat. If Keisha's business ventures keep failing, maybe she should examine her own competence. Don't play games with me, girl. I know you're sabotaging her. I'm buying profitable businesses in emerging markets. It's not my fault your golden child keeps wanting the same properties I've identified as good investments. Maybe if she'd done her own research instead of trying to copy my success, she'd actually build something. Daddy's face went purple. You're tearing this family apart. No, Daddy. Y'all tore this family apart when you chose her over me. When you celebrated my struggles. When you told me I was aiming too high. I finally stood. I'm just refusing to let you pull me back down. The real confrontation came on a Tuesday afternoon when Mama, Daddy, Keisha and Marcus showed up together. An intervention staged in my lobby. We're not leaving until you listen, Mama announced loud enough for my entire staff to hear. I could have had security remove them. Instead, I led them to the conference room, the one with walls of glass where everyone could see but not hear. Keisha's pregnant, Mama said the moment the door closed. Your niece or nephew needs stability. Needs family who supports each other. Congratulations. I kept my voice flat. That has nothing to do with me or my business. How can you be so cold? Keisha's hands went to her stomach. I'm your sister. This baby is your blood. You stopped being my sister when you betrayed me. That child will have parents who chose each other by destroying someone else. That's the family they'll have. She's punishing us, Marcus said to my parents like I wasn't in the room. Systematically destroying every opportunity because she can't let go of the past. The past. I laughed and it came out bitter. It was 2.5 years ago. You're not my past, you're the trash I took out. The fact that you keep ending up in the same dumpsters I'm buying isn't my problem. Listen to yourself. Daddy slammed his hand on the table. You sound hateful. Mean. This isn't the daughter we raised. No, you're right. The daughter you raised would have accepted your limitations. Would have stayed small so you could feel big. Would have funded Keisha's business and smiled while she took credit for my strategies. I leaned forward. That daughter died in your dining room when y'all celebrated her failures. I'm what's left. Baby, please. Mama's tears started. Keisha made a mistake, but she's sorry. We're all sorry. Can't we just? Sorry doesn't rebuild trust. Sorry doesn't erase 2 years of silence except when you need something. 6 months later, I stood in my penthouse apartment, overlooking the city I'd conquered. Apex Capital Group was worth $300 million. I'd been named to every prestigious list, spoken at conferences worldwide, became everything they said I couldn't be. My phone buzzed, another message from Mama. They came weekly now, each one more desperate. Keisha's baby was due soon. Marcus had taken a job in retail. Their dreams of entrepreneurship had died like so many other casualties of my success. I should have felt triumphant. Instead, I felt hollow. Angela had quit last month. This isn't why I got into investment banking, she'd said quietly. To help someone wage a personal vendetta. She was right, though I'd never admit it. Somewhere along the way, proving my family wrong had become more important than proving myself right. Every business I'd blocked them from, I'd convinced myself it was just good business. But late at night I knew the truth. I'd become exactly what they'd accused me of being. Cold, calculating, using my power to punish rather than build. The saddest part? I'd won. Completely, utterly won. And it tasted like ash. I looked at my reflection in the floor-to-ceiling windows. Grandma Rose's eyes stared back, but they held disappointment now. She'd wanted me to escape their toxicity, not become toxic myself. My empire was built on brilliance and spite in equal measure. I'd helped dozens of businesses thrive, changed hundreds of lives through my investments. But I'd also deliberately destroyed my own family's dreams, not because they deserved it, but because I could. Success without reconciliation isn't freedom, it's just a prettier cage. The phone rang. Mama again. This time I answered. I'm sorry, I said before she could speak. Not for my success, but for letting their toxicity poison it. I can't fund Keisha's business, but I can help her find investors who will. If she's willing to actually work for it. It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't reconciliation. It was just exhaustion. Sometimes the hardest person to beat isn't your enemy. It's the bitter, wounded version of yourself that victory creates. If you've ever felt torn between success and family, between proving yourself and losing yourself, drop a comment. Sometimes winning costs more than losing ever could. Don't forget to subscribe for more real stories about the price of ambition.